神羅転生
Yo, what's going on everyone, it is the Mist again, and welcome back to a new video on the channel today. So obviously episode 87 just came out in the Boruto series, and that episode is titled The Sensation of a Living. And I really actually enjoyed this episode quite a bit, as it was a very action centered episode, unlike the last episode which was more focused on the story and just developing the plot of this arc. And I very much enjoyed that. It was a good, it was like a breath of fresh air. Seeing some action was very nice to me. I really enjoyed it, and that's because the animation in this episode was so good. But to me, this is a problem that I've come to notice, and it's that it seems that the team of Boruto only really try with action and fights and the animation of fights when it's like the final fight with a certain character like Kakou or Kakou. It was his, he died in this episode essentially, as he kept on firing the particle style and it drained more of his chakra, I'm assuming, and it made him decay faster. That's how I interpreted it anyways. But anyways, he died, and the animation of this fight was just absolutely incredible. And don't get me wrong, we have to appreciate good animation where it is, and we have to appreciate the fight because the fight was incredible, the animation and the art was awesome, the colors, just the general shaping of the characters and the animation itself. It was all just very good. But then I was sitting there watching the episode thinking, wow, like, we only really get this type of animation when it's the final fight with a certain character, which kinda sucks in a way. But also, I mean, like I said, we can't complain, it is the final fight, so I guess they don't want to completely fuck it up and give us a bad animation and whatnot. But it would just be nice if animation could stay equally good throughout an entire arc, rather than just in a certain fight. So at the beginning of this episode, So at the beginning of this episode, we start off with Boruto being approached by Kakou. And essentially, it just turns into this massive, major conflict where, the third Shukage essentially just abandons Boruto and says, well, if you're not going to believe in what I say, then we're going to have to go back to being enemies. And that's when Kakou approaches Boruto and attempts to capture him. But really, we find out in this episode that Kakou actually has his own free will, as he is, saying all this weird shit to Boruto, like, wow, like, I really like the thrill of fighting. This is so interesting. Give me a taste of your heartbeat. All this type of weird stuff that was alluding to him having his own free will and being interested in something more than what he was. And that was a very cool aspect of the episode, as Boruto is essentially proven right against the third Shukage. But obviously Onoki is kind of blinded by his own ambition at this point, so even if he did know, he wouldn't really care. But the fight between Kakou and Boruto is quite interesting, and like I said, it was high quality animation. And then later on in the episode, we cut to Sarada and Chocho coming to Boruto's aid, because Kakou is about to destroy Boruto, and Sarada essentially just gives him a nice whack in the face. And man, this guy has particle style, and he was actually quite a strong opponent. Honestly, if I'm being completely honest though, for somebody with the particle style jutsu, one of the most rare jutsu in the entire world, to lose against, to lose against 3 Genin, Kakou must have not been that strong. And that's where I think that these guys are really amateur in power, and kinda just perfect opponents for these Genin, because Onoki is trying to make Shinobi, with no will. However, they are losing to Genin, and that's another aspect of this. They are not that strong, and their lifespan is shit, because through this episode, obviously, became apparent to me anyways that the more Jutsu they use, if they overdo it, the more chakra they use, the more time of their life is taken. You know, their lifespan is shortened, and then they decay. Like these things, these artificial human things, these fabrications as they're called in the series right now, they decay. Well, that's because essentially at the end of the episode, Kakou is spamming the particle style jutsu because, well, Sarada figures out that he can only do it once every 20 seconds, and that should be his limit. But then he actually manages to just spam them for some reason, and that's when, you know, it became apparent that the more chakra he uses, the shorter his lifespan becomes, because that is the downfall of Kakou in this episode. He was spamming the jutsu, he was about to kill Boruto, and then bang, he decayed and he died. And it was honestly kind of sad because we were watching this character who we are supposed to think that he has no free will, but it was so obvious throughout this entire episode that this guy did have his own free will, and he had his own ambitions and wants. And it's kind of just a bit of a sad arc, in all honesty, to see these fabrications kind of like have, you know, they have their own dreams too, and they want to experience things. However, they are kind of being, you know, made to fight, and it's kind of not fair on them. So it's a weird arc, in my opinion, in terms of the conflicts that it's putting on me as the viewer. Like, it's making me think many different things. So that's a good thing about this arc. It's obviously thought-provoking, and that's obviously a very good thing for the series, because I like that in series when you have to think about stuff. That is one of my favorite aspects of it, and this is definitely a very thought-provoking arc because of this artificial human thing, and how do they have a free will or do they not? They definitely do. So yeah, Boruto is definitely correct in that aspect, and I really like the way they are kind of persuading this entire idea and message. It's very, very fucking cool, in my opinion. And also, I forgot to mention that in the middle of the episode, what happened was that we had Shikadai, who is finally, he's been freed from obviously his jail cell, and he is actually he made his way up to the Shukage's office in order to ring the Hokage, you know. And he managed to get on the phone to Shikamaru, and man, it was a really interesting conversation, because it left Shikamaru like insanely scared for Shikadai, because Shikadai saying all this stuff, and he tells him all the details about what's happened at the Land of Stone, and then he runs away because Ku, I believe is that how you say his name? Ku. He's on his way up to the Shukage's office looking for Shikadai with those other artificial beings, and that left Shikamaru extremely scared, and Shikadai is okay though. And then based off of that, Naruto now has all the details of what has been happening, and they are attempting to get into the Land of Stone themselves. So we're going to see, I believe, Kakashi as well as Tsunade try to persuade the other Kage that the Hidden Leaf should enter the Hidden Stone because of the events that are, you know, obviously transpiring, and it's just this big massive deal. And yeah, there could be a war, because that's pretty crazy. But the thing is that this can't cause a war, because, you know, this isn't the Shukage's fault, and this is actually Onuki's fault. I mean, do you guys think that Onuki deserves to be killed for this? I've seen people saying that, but I just don't know, because he's the third Shukage, and he's a legendary shinobi, and I mean, he's just going senile, isn't he? He's just going insane. He's got dementia or something, and he's just losing his plot. He's just losing his shit. But let me know what you guys thought about this episode in the comment section down below. Honestly, I think that this episode deserved about maybe a 7 out of 10, because I think it was really, really good, but I just don't like how we get such good animation when it's the final fight. It just comes across as lazy to me, because I'd like to see, you know, this awesome animation put throughout the entire series, rather than just in an important fight. You know, that's kind of annoying as a fan to see that they only want to put their time and effort only into the massive fight, which, don't get me wrong, I'm so grateful for, because it was an awesome fight and it was an awesome episode. So let me know what you guys thought down below, because I'd really love to know, and let me know what I can do as a YouTuber to improve. And yeah, leave a like and subscribe if you want. I love you guys, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out, guys. See you later.